Hello, everyone. Hi. So I'm not feeling 100%, but I'd say I've definitely cleared 70. Um, I have some mucus that I guess like I'm clearing, but my throat doesn't burn anymore. My nostrils don't burn because the air is so dry. It's actually like 30. It's above freezing today, and the sun is out. So I looked out my window and I was like, oh, like I wonder if the snow will melt, but it looks like there's more snow. So I'll keep this fairly short. I could have just like not come on, but why would I do that? Why would I do something that makes sense? I kept having weird dreams. It was like something like disastrous, not necessarily like cataclysmic, but something not great. But then there'd be like a person who would like do something or say something, and it's like, oh, okay, like that's why this is happening. I don't know. There's a bunch of weird dreams that I don't even really too much remember. Dreaming of the day that I could breathe. Oh, and then I had another dream with my old Latin teacher, and we were like in groups or something, like sitting around in a circle, and we went around and like introduced ourselves. I saw my cousin in one of the dreams, and she was talking to me. It's a cousin that like, one second. It's a cousin that like I've known for a very long time, but I've never talked to her really until last year. And now we're like Facebook friends. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the most I've interacted with you like in my life. Hold up, I need some water. I need to lubricate my throat apparently. Honestly. Shouldn't have done that. If y'all don't like this, skip this. But I can't remember. I think she had said that she hadn't met someone. And then she was talking about speaking in like formalities. And she was like, like you do. So you might want to work on that. And I was like, wait. Now, to be fair, again, like she's not a cousin that I really talk to. It's like, oh, the birds. Oh, bottom of the deck is the moon. I think this moon energy is fine though. Oh my gosh, owls. I'm gonna keep this real short. I haven't been using my voice that much. So, the High Priestess, the Father of Swords, and the Fool. This is an energy. It's like with the High Priestess knows what it is that you're going to become. High Priestess knows that this fool is going to become this Father of Swords. And with the moon at the bottom of the deck, it's like High Priestess knows that there are going to be dark times, there are going to be uncertain times, but the High Priestess can see through that, right? Like the moon is literally in her, and it's the same moon. Under the moon is death, and that's the transformation of this bird. Under death is the Two of Swords. So it comes in the space of decision making. Okay. And that takes me back to the dream I had last night that I was telling y'all about, kinda. Because it was like there was something about what the person would do or say that like gave the ending away. And maybe that's what the high priestess energy is as well, a little bit. Because like at the end of everything, it's like, oh my gosh, like that was so unexpected. Where did that come from? But if you listen to the person the whole time, it's like you get it because of what they were doing, what they were saying, what they were thinking, and the decisions that they were making. And it's this energy of like someone choosing to break free in a time of darkness, led by spirit. Okay. But back to my cousins. So the two that I grew up with, there's an older one, but I never met him, I don't think. And these are like my father's family, so I don't see them as much as I see my mother's family. But there was the one cousin who had like everything together, who was basically perfect, that I never talked to. And then the cousin that wasn't perfect, that kind of sort of felt black sheeped, probably not really black sheeped, because it's not like he was like outcasted or anything. But, he wasn't the one that had everything together. I don't know. It was weird. And then I saw one of my old schoolmates. I'm like, I was just kind of sort of there, not fully participating, just like, what am I doing here? Okay, let's get a few more. Mother of Cups and the Mother of Swords at the cut. There was a point in time when I was seeing the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Swords together. And the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Swords together. It's this energy of like your intuition, the voice of spirit. It's like incorporated into your decision making process. It's an energy that sees that as valid, right? Because typically the Queen of Cups can be kind of like heart over head. The Queen of Swords can be head over heart, but there's less of a separation between the two when you have them both together. But I think the primary energy is the Queen of Swords because it feels, I mean, I guess the King of Swords was just out. It feels like decision making. But in the past, it's like we wouldn't necessarily, it's like in order to make sure we were doing the right thing, we wouldn't let our emotions interfere or little nudges. It's like if something made sense, but something within us told us that it wasn't right, maybe we would do it anyway. And it's basically just learning how to listen to that. And because the Queen of Cups is a pre High Priestess energy. So when you put the Queen of Swords on top of that, it's almost like it contextualizes spiritual information to like a specific situation. So it's not as like ambiguous. It's not as like something doesn't feel right. Because the Queen of Swords will ask questions. And in the Queen of Swords asking those questions, it's like you get closer to what the thing actually is in some way. That makes sense. Right? Because sometimes it's just a vibe. You're like, oh, nope, don't want to do it. Something's telling me not to. But with that Queen of Swords energy, it makes it a little clearer. And it's time for me to end this. Ooh. Go eat some chili. There we go. Oh well, it came out. Oh well. So basically, go back and watch the Pisces reading I did, Pisces season, the Two of Swords and the Eight of Swords. So this makes sense. Bottom of the deck is the Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups being emotions, connection, spirit. With the Two of Swords is asking where we can fit it in. Eight of Swords is saying that we don't have room for it. And so it carries either an energy of like a Queen of Swords upright or a Queen of Swords in reverse. Or would the Queen of Cups be upright or in reverse? Both of them. They'd both be upright or in reverse. Because I think when they're upright, they can understand the strengths of the other. And upright or in reverse being more experienced. Well, it's not a matter of experience because you can have a lot of experience doing the wrong thing, convinced that it's the right thing. But it's deciding where you can make room for the actualization of spirit in your life, where you can make room for connection, where you can make room for maybe somebody else, where you can invite that energy of like Ace of Cups love. And the Ace of Cups love is so, I want to say voluminous because it's it also includes self-love. And from the space of self-love, you can really delve into all of that element of connection with less resistance. So that's what I got today. It's funny though, because like even in the Pisces season reading, that was more about like swords and air. Swords and air. Swords and wands. That was more air and fire. A lot more like cerebral, logical, a lot more in like the mental sort of plane, in both the practical side of the mind and the imaginative, creative side of the mind. But here, we're adding the element of water. So I guess eventually we're going to add the element of earth as well. Earth comes last, though. And so that reading was all about finding a time, remembering a time where we felt that we were standing in our personal power. And more specifically, when we were standing in our personal power in opposition to the environment around us or someone around us, but when we were right. And so it put us in a space that's very adjacent to the source of who we are, right? Our personal power. It puts us in a space of utilizing our personal power. But now, with the introduction of the element of water, it's like personal power and connection. Personal power in relation to others, especially others in their personal power. And so what it does is, I think this would be one of the last steps for like emperor energy. With masculine energy, typically, it seems that like the emotion and emotional connection and the honoring of someone else is one of the last things that really comes into place before they come into a sense of completeness. And I think masculine energy is very protective, but in the way that masculine energy protects, it doesn't necessarily leave space for the people that it's protecting. It doesn't necessarily connect to what it is that it protects. Typically, the queen is more connected to the people of that kingdom. And I think sometimes it can just lead us to be a little extra brash. But I'm gonna end it here. Ugh. I hope y'all have a good whatever, whenever. Hope you're acting in alignment to make that what you wish to experience your reality. Hopefully, I'm better tomorrow. I will be. All right, y'all. Bye. There's just a lot of drainage today. Getting rid of the mucus.